I said, shut up, Noelia. See, now that's in the video.
Okay.
Oh. Hey, welcome to lesson 9.1, area and perimeter of shapes. Today, the objective is for you, the student, to be able to find the area and perimeter of rectangles, triangles, circles, and even squares. So let's do a quick little review. What is area and what is perimeter? For those of you who forgot, here we go. Area is the measure of how much space there is in a shape. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, look at this rectangle, right? We want to know how much space is in it. That would be the area, like over here, everything that fills up this rectangle. That would be the area of it. Now, the perimeter is the distance around a shape, all right? The distance around. And if you can make that out, that says around. What do I mean by that? Well, the perimeter would be like if I went all the way around, that is the perimeter of this triangle. So that's the difference between area and perimeter. Area, the space inside, perimeter on the outside. So for these two questions, I just want you to tell me, do I need to find the area or the perimeter to answer these questions? So the first one is how much carpet I need to cover a floor. So if I want to find out how much carpet I need to cover a floor, would I need to know the area of the floor or would I need to know the perimeter of the floor? Well, since the carpet is going to cover the whole space, right, I would need to know the area. Area. Now the second question, how much fence I need to put around my yard. So if I had a yard and I was putting fence around it, what would I need to know? The area or perimeter? That's right, the perimeter. Okay, moving along, let's go into our formulas. These are going to come in really handy in this unit, so pay attention and have these memorized. So we're going to find the area and perimeter of the following shapes. The first one we got over here. All right, this looks like to me, and maybe to you, a square. All right, now if you remember from our previous unit, a square, all sides are equal. So if one side is 12, we know all the sides are 12, right? So how do I find the area and how do I find the perimeter? Well, to find the area of a square, I just do the side squared. All right, and see why they're calling it squared now? So I do the side, which is 12, and I square it. All right, since my side is 12, I square it. So the area of this would be 144. All right, that is our area. Just the side length, which is 12, squared. And let's keep it yellow. I mean red. All right, for our second one, if we want to find the perimeter, all I have to do is, well, one thing I can do is just add 12 4 times, right? Because each side is 12, and if I want to find how much it is around, I just do 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. An easier way to do that is just to do 4 times the side length, 4 times 12, 12 4 times. So to find the perimeter, I would just do 4 times, and my side length is 12. So my perimeter is equal to 48. Man, my handwriting is sucking today. So area is 144, perimeter is 48, and don't forget these two formulas. Area is side squared, perimeter is 4 times the side. For our second shape, this to me looks like a rectangle. All right, rectangle. To find the area of a rectangle, all you have to do is multiply the length times the width. So instead of writing area, I'm just going to write an A. So to find the area, all I have to do is the length, which is 6. Remember, length is always the longer one, and multiply that by the width, which in this case is 5. 6 times 5. When I do 6 times 5, I get the area is equal to 30. Awesome. So we got our first one. Length times width. That is how you find the area of a rectangle. To find the perimeter, you can use this formula, 2 times the length and 2 times the width, or you could just add up all the sides. So if this is my rectangle, I know opposite sides are congruent, so I know this is also 6. and I know this is 5. So I could just add these up. 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 5. If you did that, you get 22. That's one way to get the perimeter. Or you can use this formula, and that's P is equal to 2 times the length, which is 6. So our length is 6, plus 2 times the width, which is 5. When we do this, we get P is equal to 2 times 6, or see it like this, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 2 times 5, which is 10. And we get the same thing again. P is equal to 12 plus 10, which is 22. All right, we got our two formulas again. Remember, define the area, length times width, perimeter, 2 times the length, 2 times the width, which is just a simpler way of saying 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 5. 2 of the lengths, 2 of the widths. Third example. This, to me, looks like a, that's it. That is a cone. No, that's a circle. No, it's a triangle. Yes, this is a triangle. To find the area of a triangle, the formula is 1/2 times the base times the height. And remember, the base is this bottom line, and the height is right here. All right? So you just do base times height. So in this case, we're going to ignore 4 and 7 because those aren't our bases or our heights. We just need 3 for our height and 10 as our base. So area equals 1/2 times 10 times 3, right? That's our height. You can put that in the calculator and see what it is. I'm just going to do it in my head because I've got this. 1/2 of 10 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Check me on the calculator, see if I got that right. All right, so it's just 1/2 base times height. To find the perimeter, well, you just have to add up the 3 sides. There's no fancy formula. So we don't need the height in this case. We just need our 3 sides, which is 10, 4, and 7. So the perimeter is going to be equal to 10 plus 4 plus 7. I'm just adding the 3 sides of my triangle to get the perimeter. So my perimeter is equal to 21. All right, for our final question, we're going to be doing circles, the area and perimeter. So this question has a slightly different question attached to it. Find the area in terms of pi and as a decimal to the nearest tenth. Okay? So we're actually going to answer this question in 2 ways. All right? Well, first let's start off. What are we looking at? This is a circle. All right? And 2, what is pi equal to? Well, pi is actually a number that goes on forever. But for the rest of this unit, I really want you to go back to this fact that pi, we're just going to estimate it as 3.14. Okay? It goes on more, like 3.1415, then blah, 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 but we're just using 3.14. Okay, so how do we find the area? Well, we have our formula. Area equals pi times the radius squared. Okay? Now, the first thing we need is the radius then, so we can plug it in. And the radius here, I know what you're going to say is 6, but that's incorrect. When it goes all the way across, that's called the diameter. The radius is just half of the diameter, okay? So what are we going to do? We have to divide 6 in 2. If we know the diameter, we have to divide that in half, and we get the radius is equal to 3. Right? Half the diameter is the radius, which is 3. So now we plug that into our formula. So we just say area is equal to pi times 3, which is our radius squared. Now here we go. This is really what I want you to pay attention to. We're going to answer this question in 2 ways. One in terms of pi and one as a decimal to the nearest tenth. To get it in terms of pi, what we do is we just multiply the number. All right, so we just put 3 squared into our calculator and we get 9. So we bring that down. Now we don't multiply by pi. We're just going to bring the pi down. So it's just 9 pi. You see what I did there? I just did 3 squared, which gave me 9, and I brought the pi down. And that's in terms of pi. That means we just don't multiply by pi. It's an easier number to look at, right? Now to get the decimal version of this, now what we're going to do is multiply 9 times pi. Now remember, pi is just 3.14. So to get our decimal, all right, to the nearest tenth, we're going to do 9 times 3.14, okay? That's just pi. So instead of pi, we're writing 3.14. So we're doing 9 times pi. 9 times pi, 9 times 3.14. We put that in the calculator. All right. Oh. Okay, putting in calculator. And when we do, we get 28.26. Now we're not done because this says to the nearest tenth. All right, the tenth is the number right after the decimal place. So what we have to do is round this because we have the 6 here, which is in the 100th place. So remember, I'm not sure if you remember about rounding, but if the number after is higher than 5, you round up. If it's less than 5, you round down. So since 6 is greater than 5, our final answer is just 28.3. The 2 goes up. So this is 28.3. So that's in terms of pi and as a decimal. Now let's do the perimeter. It's the same idea, okay? So it's 2 times pi times the radius, which we got as 3. All right? To do this now, what we're going to do is multiply the numbers, not the pi. So we're going to multiply 2 times 3. All right? We're going to multiply these guys together because they are numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. And so our answer is 6, and we just bring the pi down. 6 pi. And that's our answer in terms of pi. Now to get it as a decimal, we're going to do 6 times pi. So we're going to do 6 times 3.14. Okay? So 6, putting in my calculator, times 3.14 is 18.84. Now I got to look if I'm going to round this. How I'm going to round this? Well, let's see. 8 is our tenths. All right, we look at the number behind it. It's a 4. So since that's less than 5, it just stays 18.8. All right, it doesn't go up because the 4 is less than 5. And so 18.8 is our answer to the nearest tenth, and that is how it's done. All right, guys, stay true to your hearts every single day, every hour, and be good.